Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to whoever is listening and tuning in and viewing for that case. We have some special guests on the Iron Asylum Podcast today. Maddie O'Reilly, Emily King, and baby Luna. If you hear her in the background, she's made a surprise visit. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us, Sammy. Pleasure to be here.
I might get you just talking that mic a bit more.
Yeah, sorry.
Is
that better?
That's better. Too relaxed.
Yeah.
First of all, baby talk. We've got to get that out of the way.
Let's do it.
We just had a brief discussion then. Nia's already got a boyfriend at daycare, which I'm not fond of.
Already, straight away.
How are you guys going with everything so far? I mean, obviously, you're still training. You're still looking fabulous. Emily, you've bounced back really, really well. You look great.
Thank you.
So how's it all going? How's that changing your routine?
I'm going to say we're making it work, mate. Making it work. It's not easy, that's for sure. It was more difficult than we first both thought. Coaching a lot of parents, we were just like, oh, look, you structure it this way, you can do that. And in our minds, not knowing, thinking it was like if you had structure and you organised it like anything, it'd be quite easy. And it's not like that at all, as you'd know, Sammy. The time that they demand is a lot more than I think most people can. I'm speaking away from the speaker again. They can comprehend, but yeah, I found it a little bit difficult. Being a selfish person, I am. I think that's what happens when you're so driven with business and bodybuilding. It takes that. We need that to be successful. Emily, she's really good at making it work. So, what's your thoughts on it?
Look, it was one of those things where Matt had a mental breakdown at like the 4-week mark just because it was a huge change. But
can I just cut you off quickly?
Yeah.
Do you get pissed off when people say, congratulations, Maddie, I'm so proud of you? And you're the one that does all the work, you know?
No.
Because people do that with me, and I could see Paul was getting the shits with me.
It'd be like, it was me.
Yeah.
No, I feel like, especially with how she was brought into this world and the first 2 weeks that we had, it was like it's been a team effort since like day one. Like I feel like, yes, we do a lot of it as women, like getting up at nighttime.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I don't know. I'm pretty modest with that kind of stuff.
Pretty easy going with most of it. Like it takes a lot to crack her under pressure. She's really good under pressure. Me, not so much.
Yeah.
Did you have a different attraction to women and say mums, or respect? Sorry, would probably be a better word. To see the kind of level up that they go to. That's the one thing I noticed. Like with Paula, when I saw her straight away, it's just kind of you don't talk about it because you don't know what to expect, obviously, and then out of nowhere you just kind of level up to this new level that you never seen before, you know. Yeah. And I mean, how was that with you? Did you notice that for yourself?
Absolutely, especially more so family. Like obviously us males, we step up to do it, but it's not knowing. I think it's a big thing. You're like, people give you their experience and whatnot, and it's obviously going to be different once you experience it. But seeing, like Em said before, the birth that Em endured, and then everything that happened with Luna being sick when she was first born, and things could have went drastically wrong. It were pretty bad at one point. So then everything after that we were so grateful for. But watching her, like everything changed, and then step up, putting obviously Bub before me. She like in the hospital when we spent the week in the hospital in the Nico ward. Like Em would not leave the side, and the nurses trying. They put us in the Ronald McDonald house, and that was she was pretty bad. They put us in there for the week, and like literally it was 100 meters away from her where she was in the ward, and Em would not leave. And they're like, "You need to get this sleep now. We've got it. The nurse got it under control." And I was just like, yeah, and to try and drag her away, there was no way. I was like, wow. I'm like, babe,
4 days
got
of
it.
no
It's important
sleep.
to get some sleep.
Yeah.
You're going to need it. And
Awful.
just that.
But that's what I mean. You can't coach that. No one can tell you to do that. And you probably think now, wow, that was crazy what I did. But
Yeah.
that's the one thing I saw. I just find when you see mothers now, the kind of level they'll go to, and you don't even realise where it all comes from. It's just an instinct.
Absolutely.
You know?
The whole sleep side of it, mate. So already on the back foot, Sammy, starting there in the hospital. Then we get back, and then not having any parents around. We did at that time. We're lucky to have Em's mum and dad come down to help us out while we were in hospital to give us support. My parents couldn't join us because of bloody COVID. They couldn't get over the border. Yeah. But they were there to help. And then when they left, we were back home the first week back home. So she's already like dead from the birth and no sleep, like struggling. And then there's obviously the sleepless nights, not knowing what's going on. And I would get sleep and I'd get up like most men probably and go, is everything all right? And she'd had it there. Hey?
You can't do much.
No, I can't. I felt really useless.
Offer support, but you're useless
You
anyway.
get up, like, I was still getting sleep and it still felt rubbish, and she's just pushing through, like, dealing with it. And then, obviously, then Bubba was upset, which they are a lot. You're guessing. You have no idea. That was the hardest part. I'm like, what are we doing? Is it dirty nappy?
The most stressful part is you don't know what to fix.
Oh,
Yeah.
like, what is it?
And you have to tolerate, a lot of patience. But how does that, because that's the thing, like, for when it was in my situation with Naya, I was going to work and, Paula took leave and things like that. You guys can't do that.
Yeah.
You both run an extremely successful business. It is very well known.
Yeah. Oh, there she is.
just keep her on your lap. Doesn't matter.
She likes being on my lap right now. She's like, floor or no?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's wanting to be. She's on the move.
Naya's
She's
only
on the move.
only ever on my lap. So,
Yeah.
So how did you guys actually deal with that? Like, what was the go there?
difficult. We did a lot of prep work for Em to be able to step back. Even myself for the first couple of weeks. And you stepped back for what, 4 weeks?
4 weeks.
That was it. That's all she did. And
In hindsight, I wish I had longer. But at that 4-week mark, I was kind of like ready. I was already doing little bits of check-ins and things like that.
we needed you back. We needed it's so hard. Like we need, obviously, as we try to grow the business and get more coaches under us and get it to that point first of all, to be able to do that, then be able to step back now that we've got loons and we need to be able to have that time. But yeah, it was like she had this grand plan of 8 weeks and this will be fine. I'll
Didn't
step
last
away,
that
just
long.
keep
Yeah.
social media ticking over.
Yep.
And that didn't
And it's the
happen.
hardest thing because
It
I
was 4
think
weeks.
there's an expectation of like for me as a person to just get on with it as well. I think I've created a character around that, especially like Matt would expect me to do that as well. Like the expectation for clients as well to be like, no, she'll be back in like a month's time.
Yeah.
So I wish I'd taken longer. And next charter will take probably 2 months
At least.
at least. Yeah.
So there's more coming.
yeah.
Well, definitely want another one.
Oh look, Matt's like yes, and I'm like
Sammy.
maybe.
So have a break. You need a break first. Just get back down to reality
Give
first.
me a
He's
second.
like, whoa, what? Hold up
Yeah.
a second.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
So, I mean, with that in being said as well, you guys are talking about putting more coaches under you.
Yeah.
That's a very hard process. I can speak
is
for
it?
myself.
Yeah.
Because the first thing people want to come do is they want to talk to Emily or they want to talk to Maddie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How do you get your way around that?
So at the moment, we have we always call it a team. So they'll either be talking to Matt, myself, or Kira or Steph. And that's something that we started doing consciously probably
This
about a
year.
year ago. Yeah.
Started this
Prior to Luna. Because
And may I ask, is that just through your socials? I know you guys got group chats and things like that.
on the letters, like when
On
they get
marketing,
sent
yeah.
to the marketing, King Body's team, it's never
We
come
changed it
coach
all
with
from
Emily.
be coached by. It
Or-
was originally coached by Matt, coached by Emily.
Or one-on-one coaching. It's not that.
So-
anymore.
So in that circumstance, you guys would charge a higher premium to go with you if they just wanted you? Or
Yeah,
how would you work that?
I think we're going to make that level where it is just because Matt's currently still just Matt. If people come coach with me, they're either getting me or Kira,
Yep.
which is essentially the same person because I've coached her, I've mentored her to be me, essentially. So it's
What-
that
what-
higher level of coaching anyway.
What method I'm kind of going across with my socials at the moment, obviously having Iron Asylum, having guys working out of here
Yep.
in the very near future. Obviously, I don't like having Sam Pierce Official or Team Pierce.
Yep.
If they were direct clients of mine, yes, but it doesn't really help me long term to put coaches essentially under me. So hence why I got Iron Asylum. I have coaches working out here under the team name and things like that. I guess what I'm trying to do on my end is to get their face familiar doing things that I would do. So when I attract my niche clientele, like you guys have your niche clientele, they can see that, monkey see, monkey do. They're doing the same things as what I do. So it kind of builds that trust in the background.
Yeah.
How do you correlate that? Because obviously, following a big dumb bodybuilder like myself, I just get another big dumb bodybuilder do the same thing, and people go, "Oh, he's just a big dumb bodybuilder as well," so I can follow him, right? But you guys have a very diverse market. I'd imagine your business would have skyrocketed actually from the birth as well, with post pregnancy and pregnancy and things like that.
Yeah.
So as I said, if I was a girl, I'd say, "Look, Emily, what'd you do?" If Matt came in and spoke to me, or Steph or Kira, I'm like, "Well, I want to see Emily. I mean, you're going to face that problem because I'm facing it right now." So,
Yeah.
how do you guys have that conversation, or how do you direct traffic in the right way?
It's really funny because I don't think we've ever had that even yet.
I've had a couple times because I tried to take some. clients off
he's
Em
tried to take
a few
girls,
times
yeah.
for girls. And I'm like, hey, I'll handle check-ins because we were we weren't going to lose them. And they're like, oh no, look, I want to be coached by Em. I'm like, same methods, same approach right next to them. I think the whole check-in thing, maybe like not feeling comfortable, which I understand, but we did try that maybe a year ago and they were just like, no, Sam's like, I'll take him on. And then we've slowly moved over to being like, hey, Kira's taken over. It was the whole brand thing, like you mentioned before, Sammy. It's so important with like, if it's just your name, your face in the business, you're bottlenecking yourself. You can't grow that business.
Yeah.
It's about growing the brand. So what we've found, because we do get that with them, I hear it anyway when we're talking in amongst our groups and with the clients, that they do like having access to them. So it's having the coaches there and then having systems in place where Emily's still making herself present within it. And then what we do is we have the Facebook group set up for that, where she is doing a call with the team call that'll be giving girls the opportunity to jump on and talk. She's got that set up. She does calls sometimes on Mondays. There'll be like specific days set up for that, for people just wanting to do like a call with her. Then we've got our Facebook Lives,
yeah.
And that's a big one. So we're like, look, if that's where you will get direct access during that live, and we do like we have topics. We put question box up in talking about topics.
Yeah.
That's our education platform.
But our coaches are really active within the group, so they're super active within the Facebook group, and they're super active within the app as well. So like our clients are constantly getting exposed to Kira and Steph, and these names are constantly popping up. So that trust is being built over time, and Steph's putting like content into the group, and Kira's putting content into the group, and
so there's a relationship.
yeah, there's a relationship that they have with the whole team.
So
moving forward, like what you said though, as we step back from it and have another coach on, the people that really do want to work with them will be that'll be that new whatever we call
level,
it, premium level, if it's gold or platinum.
It'll be
level.
higher than premium because we're premium.
Yeah, we've already got premium platinum level, where she'll only be working with serious girls who, whether they're postpartum, whatever niche that you were gonna. That's the big thing. Like we are quite broad with our company, and we're finding we need to. At the moment, it's what we've talked about recently is just hone in on what we're good at, what we enjoy, and that's it. Like we can't do comp prep, can't do. Like I've got young guys coming in, got middle-aged guys. It's like, okay, what are we trying to do? Like we got serious guys that coming in wanting serious results, trying to improve their physiques and body composition. Then we've got guys that just want general structure, want to learn more about nutrition and
but
get
I
healthy.
think in saying that because we have such a broad range of clients, how you doing? We have like a really good group of people. So we have like
sorry, she's crawling
yeah, she should be on the move
already, man.
Because we have such a broad range of clients, we have like the need to have a multidisciplinary team within it. So I think people coming to us know that they're not going to just deal with one person, because they do need that team, whether that be because Steph is a nutritionist, Kira is just a coach, and then we have like Beck who's a physio.
Mm-hmm.
She's on the move. She's come back.
So I guess like trying to answer your question, I don't think people come to me thinking that they're just going to get me. I think they come to me knowing that they're going to get a team, and that's something that we've.
And that's coming from the team environment you guys are promoting right now. So how do you do this then? How do you? I suppose you probably have legalities with this, but I had a run in 2 years ago where I had a coach under me. Backstab me to clients and try to steal clients.
Yeah.
Failed miserably.
As they would.
Yeah, I'll tell you when we're off the mic.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot from that with legalities and things like that. So you guys have obviously got that all tied up for yourselves and making sure that's all covered.
We do, and we got someone that was being put onto us specifically for that. But that's a touchy one, Sam, and that's something I've worried about. We're very fortunate, touch wood. We've got Kira, who's was a client for ours for 2 years, and she's done all the certificates that we recommended, that we wanted to do. So the best thing about her is we groomed her for the position. We vetted her. We know that she knows everything. She knows only to coach from our principles, our approach. But there's something we have talked to, and we've got to.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like, if they're smart, they would see you're a growing business and you can grow with it.
Yeah.
Well, this person didn't. They just saw the short-term dollar.
Yeah.
Which is why
I guess the hardest
PTing.
thing, because like from not saying like that person had any right to do that, but from that point of view of a coach underneath the client, the coach needs to like speak their name in a room of opportunity. Like they need to be like, this is my coach and my head coach, and talk them up, make them feel like they're part of the business.
So you know what I was doing? Like say you were the other coach.
Yeah.
You were the client. I was pushing you on.
Yeah.
oh, so what's Sam doing with your diet? Oh, this and this. Oh, I wouldn't do that.
No.
Oh, but you listen to him, he knows what's going on. When you're 5 weeks out from a show, you're going to be like,
What the hell? Yeah.
you know, tell me what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just little things like that.
That was
But then the
what I was
coach would come back to me and
Undermining,
say,
yeah.
the coach would come back to me and say, oh, you know, be careful of Matty. He's trying to come to me for certain things, blah, blah, blah.
So that's something I was going to lead on to next. So worrying about that being undermined. And the worst thing, not the worst thing, but it's part of this industry. There's so much egos. And like, you know, Sam, there's so many different approaches with, say, just for example, competition prep.
Yeah.
And you know it works for you, and you would have seen, because you've had so many different clients, that one shoot or one approach doesn't fit all, but you've seen it and you've got that experience. And you've got another coach coming in the industry. That guy has a particular way that he's been prepped by a coach, or the one approach that he knows, and he's trying to push that on. And then you got a bit backstabbing going on. But because the industry is so driven with that sort of
Thing.
that ego approach, like it's so hard. That's why we haven't just gone out and got coaches this year. We've taken our time because we're trying to plan how we're going to.
We grab coaches from our community, so they already we have that trust with them.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
And that
would
was
be
my mistake as well. Like, you know, in
Grabbing someone that
that
wants to have a
defense,
name.
you know, they were already successful at the time in their own right. So
Yeah.
they had their own ways and methods that I may
Yeah.
not have agreed on.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, it's obviously...
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Learning.
Yeah.
It's learning, yeah.
And that's
There's no hate there, don't worry.
We've got Dean Mckillop as well, mate, and I spoke with him and Liz, that you know very well, and he shared experience. They both shared experiences, what they went through putting coaches on, and I was like, whoa. And he's like, yeah, again, they were friends at the time, without saying names, and I don't think are no longer friends because of, and it was financial reasons, money. That's the big thing I worry about. You get someone on, and like you just spoke about before we started recording, entitlement, and they get there, and once they see the business doing well, unfortunately it's going to happen at some point. They see the money that's coming into the business is turning over without realising all the overheads that come with it, marketing, insurances, and all that.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I mean. Like, I look at those things too, and how I structure pay my guys. They get incentives, so they work harder.
That's a big
You know what I mean?
one,
Like that is always going to be a big one. You know, if you will never be as passionate working for someone as what you are with your own business, and you can't expect them to do that. You know, so for me, if they have some sort of incentive where obviously one, they can see the business grow, so they go, oh wait, I'm on a good wicket here.
Yeah.
But if they're getting more for what they're doing in certain timelines or whatever it is, they should be rewarded.
Yeah.
So, moving on to my next question for you guys. You guys have, as I said, very clean skin, very good name in the industry. You don't really have any haters at all. I've never really heard anyone talk badly about you.
We get it on social media here and there. Em's definitely dealt with a bit in her time, but I think when you put yourself out there, you're going to get that sort of...
I've never heard a bad word come out of anyone's mouth about you guys at all, never. And you're certainly not scary-looking people, so it's not because you're scary or ugly or anything like that. How do you maintain such a clean image? And, you know, how important is it to keep that with your business, not just in your niche, but if you're going to talk about my niche or anyone else's? There is going to be people listening to this wanting to know how to become successful PTs, coaches, online coaches, and things like that. And I think the image that you portray online and in the public is very, very important. What happens with me is that, you know, someone, say like myself, as big as you, Maddie, or someone good looking where every girl wants to look like you, Emily, you walk through a gym, and although people can think that, if I've had a bad night's sleep because of the baby, you know, I went through a breakup this year, I was stressed through the gym, opened the gym and things like that. You know, I've had good and bad days this year. Someone said to me, oh, I've never seen you on a bad day. Because I can't let anyone see me on a bad day. Because unfortunately, when you are breeding some sort of success, people subconsciously want a reason to hate you.
Yeah.
And you have to say hi to that person every day. For example, when I was at World Gym, and if I didn't, they're going to walk to reception and say, what the fuck's up with Sam?
Yeah.
He didn't say hi to me today.
Yeah.
You know, and no one cares to ask, oh, he says hi to me every day. He didn't say hi to me today, though. There must be something wrong. They always think, I always knew he was a roided up fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Right? So you guys, as I said, I've never heard anything like that remotely come out of anyone's mouth. How do you guys keep that?
I honestly just like live and work out of like an authentic being for myself. Like I think when you start trying to be someone else that you're not, or put on a face, especially if you're out, or if you had a bad day and you're at the gym and you're just trying to be like happy or whatever, like I feel like I'm just myself all the time. And I do care what people think, but I don't care as well, because if they're going to judge me if I had a bad day, like that's on them, you know, like I'm not a bad person and I know that deep down. So, yeah, like
she's a straight shooter. I'm a little bit more aware of it because I'm like you, Sammy, and I like anyone. I have rough days, and I think it's normal to have rough days and down days, but yeah, the big one is taking it out on other people and how you present yourself to people out in public. I know when I come home, Emily probably wears the brunt of it sometimes on my rough days, and she'll say, like, if I'm out, like, I will make sure that people around me aren't suffering from what I'm dealing with at the time. You've mentioned that before, but I also with going back to what you said before, business wise, like, and this industry and being present on social media is trying to stay in your own lane. And Em's like, there's so much drama, and especially here in the Gold Coast, so and so did this, and so like we really try and stay out of that as much as possible. Get told.
Don't you love the same people that say, "Oh, I just can't get away from drama." It's like, motherfucker, you are the drama
all the time,
yeah.
and then it comes to you and like, oh, did you hear so and so? Like, especially in the fitness industry, and like,
mate, I don't wanna know.
like that's the thing. Like sometimes I hear it from them particular people, you know, that's always circulating around them. I'm just like waiting to sort of get our opinion on it, and I'm like, I always try and stay out of that.
Yeah, we don't have a very big circle.
I know that's going to come back on us at some point if I do give my opinion, which I don't know what's actually going on there. That's always because it's hearsay, their say. And then if you give an opinion, then someone's, Maddie said this, or Emily was saying this. So I'm wary of that.
It's always times by 10 by the time it gets back to the original source.
So then it's just like I try to like, oh, okay, is it like we just try and play it off?
We do have a very small circle though. Like the people that we hang out with, there's not many of them.
Shoot.
Are they bodybuilders?
Some of them are like WBFF, and then I have like a group of friends in Yeppoon, but that's about it. Like,
and then I've just got my close mates I've grew up with and that are on their different paths.
We've always been a little bit of like introvert.
Yeah, introvert. Like that's one thing. Like
But define introvert, because to me,
I probably don't look introvert from Instagram and things like that.
Well, no, you have to be outgoing on Instagram, but you can be a extroverted introvert.
Yeah.
And for me, like I give so much to people every day, and I love my job. But as soon as it hits Friday and I pick up Nia from daycare, you can't contact me.
Yeah.
People know not to contact me to go out for drinks. They know not to contact me for coaching. They know my phone doesn't really go off anymore because they just know I'm not going to answer you until Monday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. You set really good boundaries, which is awesome because a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously with the baby and stuff like that as well. But I mean, obviously you guys need to have your own times for each other as well.
Yeah.
Like if you're so dedicated to giving everything to the baby.
Yeah.
How do you separate that? Work, as I said, because you guys obviously being online, a lot of your work would be from home.
Yeah.
You got the other business now, which is the baby at home.
Yeah.
How do you guys get out and separate yourself and have some time to yourself? Have you done that yet?
Look, I remember having this conversation with you probably 6 months ago, and you said make sure. And I went home, didn't I? And I said, Sam said this is really good advice. And I didn't put something into play straight away. And it was probably last 2 months. We've been a little bit on each other's backs, had a bit of arguments, a bit of fighting. So, which is sometimes people say it's healthy in a relationship, but it's one thing we've.
Do you understand that you're always wrong, and when you're right, you're even wrong?
Yeah. No, he doesn't understand that yet.
No.
He just keeps trying to push the argument.
Especially
whenever you. When you got a missus, you're always in the wrong, no matter what.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
And then you kind of sit down and calm down. You look at yourself and you go, I probably was actually in the wrong. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Every now and then, you cool down. You're like, you know what? This probably is right. I might have to wear this.
Well, what I said to you 6 months ago, I said, that's because first of all, 6 months ago, I said to you the first thing was, which I said to everyone, is it's like a contest prep. Everyone has their bit of advice they want to give you. Like you say, you should be doing this or you should be doing that. So when you have a kid, make sure you do this.
Thing,
Look, just let me have my fucking kid and just forget about it. But the next thing is, as I said, Paul and I were so committed to the baby, we didn't have any time for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that was a big part for us that kind of, fell apart. We're still good friends today. But at the end of the day, I do think partners need to make that time for themselves. But it is hard because
Super.
even though I sit back, should have, could have, would have, it was hard for us to have a night away from the baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then really, like, sometimes the baby's your escape, because when you turn the computers off and everything like that, you can just see the baby, but you tend to forget about each other.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we're feeling through at the moment. I think, like, it's just like a constant evolving of our relationship and figuring out, like, communication is obviously that huge one, and having those, like, really hard conversations is a big one for us.
Who's fire and who's water?
I'm fire, she's water.
I'm water, yeah.
But to her, when she goes, she bloody goes. It's like, I'll push the buttons, I'm like, well,
He'll
I
be
need to
like,
step back now. Looks like,
oh shit, I shouldn't have done that.
So then, okay, so how do you then, how do you separate yourself? Because you guys are very active on social media, amazing following, loyal following. As I said, very clean, very well-structured social medias, all the above.
Cheers.
But I would imagine there's things you still keep private, where everyone probably feels... People would come up to you in a supermarket,
Yeah.
Maddie, or Em. And you're like, who the fuck's this?
Yeah.
You know? But they feel like they know you because they watch so much of you on social media.
Yeah.
For me, my theory is, and what's my connection to Batman? Everyone knows I'm obsessed with Batman, right? There's a few things that I'll relate to. One of them is this, is that Batman is what everyone knows his job, everyone knows what he does every single day of the week or every night of the week, right? But through the daytime, no one knows who he is. So I try to portray the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, bodybuilder, single dad, and I work hard, but no one actually knows me behind the scenes. And I keep that very private because I'm close with my own circle as well of friends. But that's the image I try to portray. You know, I'm still being myself, but I still have to pull up on what I do and don't post, because I don't want people to actually think they know me better than what they do.
Yeah, have full access to you.
Exactly. How do you guys channel that? Is there restrictions and boundaries you talk about on what you do and don't post?
I think for myself, yes. I was like, whatever happens, you see, like, you just like, I'll put it out there. Like, this is real, this is raw, and she's happy too. There's certain things, like if I do have an off day, like I'm sure people notice there'll be days, we've got a bit of stress with business, or I'm under the pump with business, I'm not present on socials at all. We'll be away, like last weekend, I didn't show too much with friends and stuff, like where Em's very present on social media all the time. And happy to share all that. Yeah, there's
days,
side.
but like I feel like I never push it. You know, like there are days when you're like, I should post today, but I won't usually. And like today, I was pretty much off it most of the day. Like, and then there's weekends where I'm totally gone because I'm like, I just didn't want to be on it this weekend. And yes, that may come at a detriment to business sometimes, but I'm also like,
you can fix it tomorrow.
Who cares?
You know, fix it all tomorrow.
It's not a big deal.
And don't get me wrong, I say I turn my phone off on the weekends, but I still catch myself out doing shit because she's at an age where you're just sitting there watching TV, watching Frozen, and they just want to climb all over you. And you're like, but you don't realize you're on your phone typing something. I might just be doing a quick Excel spreadsheet off my phone, just quickly sending it, and I'm like trying to dodge around. And I'm like, hold up, what am I doing here? I'm not meant to be
working.
This can be all fixed on Monday. Like, why are you stressing about it?
Because it's your business, mate. I find that we find that 100% your business. It's only no one cares about, like we spoke about, no one's as invested as you. And when you do have them times, and I know because it's I should be present with Lena, although she's probably not at that stage to take that in. You do find that you got that half an hour, like, I probably could reply to that email, or like you said, structure something for the next day.
But I also think it's a personality thing of like the people that we are. Is it's just like the hustle and the grind and.
Because I find you do that on our days,
like
on our Sunday we say we don't work, and there we are. We've got half an hour, nothing's not much happening. We're sitting around the house like, shit, not sure shit should be on the phone. Maybe even prepping a post. Like,
and this is a big thing that I learnt this year. It was especially like taking time off for Luna and being pregnant and all of those things was like, you don't have to be hustling all the time to be progressing and trying to find a way. Because what we did for the last 3 years was just work. Like, 24 hours a day. We slept, we trained, but we were working all those other hours. And then we're like, but you can't keep that up. You can't keep doing that, 5, 6, 7 years without burning out. So it was about figuring out, like, what is success? Is it hustling all the time and never actually being present with each other or our family? Or is it happiness? Or is it having time with your family? Like, what does success mean to you?
Exactly. It's a rhetorical question. I think success, the word balance is a word I don't like unless it does come to success, because if you want to be the best at anything, you can't really have a balance.
Yeah.
No.
But
There's a
if
fine
you want to
line,
have the
isn't there?
best success overall, well, then you have to have an equal balance of all. So what's your biggest fear when it comes to that? I mean, is it your biggest fear in losing money? Is it your biggest fear not training? Is it your biggest fear not connecting to each other or spending enough time with the baby? Between you both or separately, what's your biggest fear in life right now?
You go.
Yeah, I'd say the relationship side of things with them. Honestly, we've had a few issues in the last couple of months, and like that we've been addressing because communication breakdown, because of we've been a little bit behind the business. We probably haven't been behind, but to us, we're not where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
To finish the year, to have things in place to start next year, which is really important for us, so we could have a bit of time off at Christmas. So, like I said, the spare time we could be communicating or talking to each other or being present with each other. I've been working or Em's been with the bub or vice versa. Like we take turns because we're at home. Bubs demand so much attention. Like I'll be working, or if I'm at gym, then I come home and I'll try and work and then Em goes to gym. So we don't train together that often anymore because of that either. But I fear would be like not being present for Luna when she needs to, because I do catch myself on my phone, whether it's replying to DMs or something or an inquiry for coaching.
No thirsty women in your DMs at all?
No, well,
They get pretty thirsty out there.
No, I get a lot of men.
I only get men too.
No,
So I was hoping you'd actually get women, but
No,
I thought I was the only one. Like everyone's like, "Oh, you get a lot of DMs from chicks."
So-
I'm like, I don't.
don't.
I really don't. Like
It's
all my fucked up questions that I put on my Q&As, it's all gay guys.
Absolutely. So my message
It is.
request box gets cleaned out by our admin girl, and she's quick to show Em or point to Em, like whenever there's funny one. There might be some girls in there every now and then, but nothing compared to the guys. The saturation of men.
See, if I was the admin girl, I wouldn't be able to help myself. I'd just jam up for the sake of it.
Reply.
So did you want? And then at the end of this, so did you want to book an appointment with Maddie for you because she's admin girl?
Yeah.
You know what? She's replied early on in the piece. She replied doing the right thing, engaging with some of them, and then obviously once that's out of the message request and in my DM, and I see these messages coming, I'm like, who the hell is this person? And it's her being nice, replying. I'm like, do not reply to these people. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, that's a big no.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you just delete them? Look at the time this is going to cost you now. Now that they're in here as well, like sometimes you got to block them to get them out of there, and they are relentless. But
So I mean, when you're both are sitting there and you kind of you look at yourselves, you have your fears kind of put in front of you, but you guys are working so hard.
yeah,
You work hard in all aspects on your family, relationship, and your business. Do you ever feel you're entitled? Do you ever find yourselves victims at some stage?
Never. I think that was something that I was, brought up understanding the difference between, because I didn't come from a family that had a lot of money, so the only way that I was going to get ahead was through working really hard, which I did in multiple jobs. So it was never something like, I think maybe people that are given things when they're growing up, or maybe they were given a free ride, or didn't have to work for something, it's kind of starts them
presented
off in the wrong.
opportunities that
I
didn't have
noticed
to work
all the
for.
rich kids I went to school with, for one. Like I had someone come to me and say, "Oh, one of my friends committed suicide the other day." And the first question I asked, I didn't mean to. I just said, "Was he wealthy?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah." And I'm like, it's always kids that are entitled, like given everything,
Stuff.
never have to work for something in their life. Like I was lower middle class as well.
Yeah.
So my biggest fear is always, running out of money.
Yeah.
Like I want to make sure that, when I go somewhere and when I go compete next year, I've spoken to Paula, I'll go overseas with Naya and take it with me and do all that. I don't want to. My parents did everything and work, and they gave us a good life. I never knew we were lower middle class, but it's not until I look back now and I'm like, yeah, shit, my parents couldn't afford school fees and all that kind of stuff.
just
But
scraping
we
by.
always had food on the table and we always lived a good life. But I don't want to have to spend my whole paycheck doing that. I want to be able to do that and say, yeah, let's just spend
Financial
this and-
freedom.
Financial
Yeah.
freedom.
Yeah.
That's where, to answer your question, that I'd go back and say that as well. Like relationship, I've been so driven with business that you're forgetting.
Matt is a
losing
big
that
money
relationship.
person.
Yeah, finance. I love finance. I love being financially free, like you saying. Like
I
what
like
we
your taste
spoke
in
about.
cars.
Yeah, like, just things like that. Yeah, like little things that go on top when that's
Who
a
chose
bit
the
of a reward.
car?
Matt did.
Yeah, I'd say both cars. I was like manipulated them a little bit. I'm like, oh, look, we'll go here. And
Because you could get that
Pretty
car
much
and then
the
one
same.
of you would have said, I want an AMG.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's what
wanted
he
the
said. Then
AMG
he wanted the
originally, and
AMG.
she's like, no, look, we're not. She didn't want the C63 because we took it for a drive, and she's just like,
It's too
I don't know if
low.
anyone's seen Emily drive.
I'm a practical person.
and she's going to get scrapes. She'd lose the front end.
C63 is unpractical for me because it's hard for me to fit in.
Get in there.
It's hard
That's
for me
what
to get
she's
that low.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to get the baby in and out of the back.
Exactly.
But it's worth it.
See, when we test drove them, Sammy, she's just like, "Are you serious? The bucket seat, you can't even sit there." She's like, "If we're driving up to see mum and dad up the sunny coast, like, how will you feel?" And like in my mind, I knew she was right, but like the power and that, I was like, you know,
I
could
reasoned
deal
with
it.
myself. I did reason with myself because I got the C63 because I only have Naya from Friday to Monday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me,
It's only for.
it's 3 nights.
Yeah.
3 nights, 3.5, 4 days, whatever.
Yeah.
So for me, I can deal with that. I've got a bit of a technique where I hold her, like she sits up like that, and I kind of scoop her in underneath.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But no, like I was looking at that car as well, and I'm like, yeah, no, who am I driving around? You know, I'm a single dad Aussie battler, right?
Yeah.
So,
Driving 663.
yeah, I just got my thing in the
You have to have
back
nice things, though.
Yeah.
Like, you
That's
work
your
hard,
thing.
you have
You
to have
enjoy
nice
that.
things.
Some people, like, everyone's got their own opinion and they'll say whatever about
The
our
problem
choices.
is that when people don't reward themselves, and this is coming back onto the relationship part, or just personally, like we're just saying for myself, you have to kind of trigger your brain to give yourself some sort of reward. If you just keep going back into work, your body will never appreciate the work that you do, and you'll tend to resent the things around you. So I think you might have a good month of sales, whatever it may be. You might have a good week. You might, your coaches underneath you might make a heap of money for you that week or whatever it is. And I know with myself, I have certain targets that I hit. And I always make sure, it might be, just buying a pair of shoes. It might be taking myself, out for dinner with Naya somewhere expensive where I'm just really paying for myself. She gets my crumbs. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm treating myself to something.
Yeah.
And it helps me kind of, not to spend outside your budget, obviously, but, just reward yourself in that way. And people, we're so focused on saving, where I find you kind of get that bit of a kick on when you have that thing for yourself. Like I start every day at 5 a.m. I train at 5 a.m. and then I do all my working on my business for a few hours after that. And I don't start my day till about 10 and I work through till 7 with clients, So really when I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning, which I don't want to, I get up at 4 and I'm leaving for 4:30. I'm getting home 7:30, 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I want to get a car that I like to drive.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
That's just something for me. I don't really go out and party on the weekends. Well, I asked in the agreement to have the baby on the weekends for that reason.
Yeah.
So for me, they're my things I kind of look forward to. Do you guys have separate things for yourselves that you either reward yourselves with, or is there something that you just have your own time with?
Yeah, you've definitely got.
It's hard. Sorry, it is. Disclaimer: it is hard for me to ask that in the first year.
Yeah.
Because it's still very frantic.
I like lately I've been going out to dinner with the girls and stuff, or even just going out to dinner with you. I like being social, and I found that I thought that I was someone that didn't like being social, especially with prep and competing for the last however long I did it.
8 years.
Yeah, it was obviously that kind of just falls step by the wayside, and I was like, I'm just not a social person, but I really am. I love being around people. So this last 6 months, I've reunited.
You did say you are an introvert, so
I was
you
just gonna say
like
that,
to
yeah.
people watch.
Yeah.
So you're not very social. You just can't
Just
sit
like to
there,
sit
and,
there,
and,
yeah.
and look at people walk past and judge them. I do the same thing. Sorry.
It's particular group of friends. So
Yeah, it's the same group of friends every time. We'll either have a Saturday night dinner or something that we'll go somewhere nice. And
That's
have,
usually when it's our time. I'm
That's
like
the
you.
thing.
I'm can't wait to eat something that I don't eat every day of the week, which is usually Saturday night where we treat ourselves. And then if I'm not eating out on that Saturday night where it's a particular restaurants we really enjoy, Em's usually the one to go out on a Saturday night, not out, but out for dinner to catch up with friends. And
Yeah.
Can
don't
I
usually
also
go out
make an
that
assumption
often.
too, or a guess? I bet you guys don't really talk about bodybuilding with your friends.
No.
No, it's weird, isn't it? Do you think I'm going to lose a lot of viewers from this because we're not talking? I've got successful competitors on this podcast.
I don't like talking bodybuilding.
and we haven't spoken anything about bodybuilding.
No, I don't think so. Try and give me insight on the business side of things and the
going for
struggles
your
that we all
shoes.
have.
So she likes shoes.
She's coming for your shoes.
She likes TNs. I like her taste. It's all good.
Yeah, there is. So the two cars, going back on that, Sammy, when we got them originally, I liked the cars. That was
Yeah.
something.
It's
But
Matt's thing.
I was 30, and that was my first ever car that I've bought, brand new. Everything else is I've been FIFO, didn't even have a car for a few years. I had work cars, and then I was like, you know what? Finally, we're in a position. I'm like, we we had money sitting there. And I'm like, I'm just going to buy a car. I need a new car. And we're like, oh, we'll get that car. So then we decided what car we wanted. And then the following year, we're in position again. Bub come along and we were like, we need to get a bigger car to get the baby seat in. We wanted something higher off the ground. And that's where we got the other one. And Em said, well, we could just get the new RAV, could get this. I'm like, yeah, but we don't need to. Like now I went from driving Toyotas to the Merc. I was like, there's nothing.
Yeah, but here's the other thing too, is that this is another thing I was pointing out before. What do you post on social media versus what you do and don't post, right?
Yeah.
Unless I've missed something, I don't see you guys flagging your cars all over social media.
I haven't put it on there.
I think I put a story up when I first bought mine, just the tail light of the car I got, and I haven't put anything up since.
Yeah.
Again, because that's something for me that I don't really need to show
validation.
That off. No, like it doesn't. I just like getting in it. Every single time I drive. So you're a car man like myself.
Yeah, it's something I had my eyes set on for a while. It was the C63. I just loved the look of it, loved the feel of it, and I didn't get it. And
I wrote my car off the start of the year. I had a Merc as well.
Yeah.
And a few weeks after that, Paul and I had a good chat and decided to obviously part ways and be friends and things like that. And it was hard because I was borrowing my friend's old Triton. Yeah. I've had Mercs for 10 years, so I'm driving his old Triton. But I got my payout for my car and I put it into the gym. And what I purposely did was I never played music in this Triton. So I'm just driving this old truck, listening to it every day because I'm like, no, the next car I'm going to get is this car.
That's a big difference.
Right? Because every day I'd wake up, and although I hated driving it every day, I had a secret love for it as well, because I knew that getting in that struggle of that car while I was trying to build my business and obviously doing another business as well, and changing and adapting to my lifestyle, it was a big reminder for myself, to the point that actually when I was giving it back, I actually wanted to buy it from him because I had like a connection. It was with me in some tough times, As I said, single dad, Aussie battler over here. Yeah. So it kind of reminds me that phase of hard work and reward for yourself. And it kind of gets you up in the morning to keep pushing. Socializing for myself, I guess I'm not a socializer. People know not to call me.
Yeah, it's going to be like, what do you do on the weekend? So obviously, I know you got your daughter, got Naya. So
dude, I got a busy schedule
with friends and stuff.
No, I got a busy schedule. Yeah. I still train early, but it's good. The girls here, they got kids and everything, so actually Saturday. You've seen Saturdays here at the gym. Yeah. There's bit of a kid day at the front.
It's a great feel.
Yeah, running around everywhere. There's more kids and members here. But I went and bought. Here's a tip for you guys. Life hack. Yeah. Buy the year pass to the 3-park, Wet and Wild, Movie World, and all that shit. Yeah. Because you only have to go for an hour and you can come back the following weekend.
Yeah.
When you go to Movie World, you feel like when you buy that $100 ticket, you got to stay there all day.
Yeah, straight.
Right. And then you hate Movie World, you don't want to go back for 10 years. So I usually take her at some point to one of the theme parks on the weekend, do the beach thing. She does eat out a lot, but she's a very cheap date. So I can take her wherever I really want. Really, as I said, besides that, Frozen and naps, like we just enjoy each other's time. She'd take me down this park, and now I've got Alfie as well.
I'm assuming that's an animal.
Alfie's the puppy that was running around downstairs.
That's
him. Yeah. Poodle, very manly dog. I know. Don't get started. I've heard it all. Yeah. But I called him Alfred because that's Batman's butler. That's how obsessed with that. If you haven't picked up on that. But look, as I said, even as she gets older now, though, it becomes just more simple. And as she kind of gets aware of more things, you realise that just little things going down the park is just
made the connections.
So much fun.
That's what
the beach, even though we do that all the time, it's like the best thing ever each time. For me too.
You'll melt the hardest when Maddie. You'll melt the hardest when she just sits there and does the every time. Don't pick her up when she has a tantrum. I'm like, put your arms up, and then she puts her arm. Look, I'm like, I shouldn't do this, but
that look just gets you every time,
Every time.
Break me.
Yeah.
I know that's coming.
I was showing you guys before as well. Her new boyfriend at kindy.
I know. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
My reply was, "Who's this little prick?
Who's this guy? Who is he?"
Actually said touching my daughter.
Yeah, no. So
why am I not getting this?
Well, she hugs me like that, so I'm like, man, it's already started. So that's the benefits of having a daughter. Yeah. But no, look, I won't keep you guys. I've got everything extracted out of you that everyone probably wants to know on the other side of bodybuilding than just bodybuilding itself?
We're not perfect. That's the big one. Like, we have our struggles, and Sam, you know that, like everyone. And the whole business side, I just want to put that out there as well. We've been very fortunate to be in the position we are, but we bust our ass to be in that position. Made mistakes, and at the moment, like, I think what we talk about the most is like direction. It's not like we're good at coaching, we're good at communicating with clients and developing relationships.
And coaching,
but like the relationship's very important. You can be a coach, but being able to communicate with clients as well.
You both come from sporting backgrounds, you know yourself. You can have the best athlete and best coach, but if you don't gel together, it's a waste of time.
Damn straight. And that's how you retain clients. But we get to that point where we're at the moment, mate, like where we're trying to take the next steps for next year. We've got things put in place next year to try and make improvements and grow the company. But at the same time, we get lost. Like, how often we sat there at home?
Does anyone really know what they're doing though?
No,
No,
exactly.
this is the thing,
I wake up every day, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Do we just wing it? And someone called me an entrepreneur the other day. I was like, I don't really think I just wake up and I wing it.
Entrepreneur is a cool name, and I've got people in this podcast that are successful entrepreneurs, but I'd never call myself that. I just feel like a bit of a wank. And it's funny, I actually don't really like calling myself a coach as well. Like, I say to people, call me an advisor, because really I'm just trying to advise you not to do dumb shit that I would have done.
Yeah, or that we have done.
Exactly. I've done it so many times, that's why you come to me, because I've fucked up everything.
It's like, how do you know what to do? Because I've done it and it was wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
it's not to do it.
I find the coaching thing is like, you do as I say no matter what, where people get very surprised when I sit down with them and say, all right, are you happy with that? Is there anything I need to change or whatever it is? And like, no, if you tell me to eat fish, I'll eat fish. I'm like, dude, you don't have to eat fish.
Yeah.
Let's communicate. Just communicate, let's work around it, that's still what we've got to do, Give us some plugs. I know you guys have some very good sponsors behind you, and I want my viewers as well to see you guys for coaching. I might have potential clients looking at me that you're open to steal from me, so it's all good. Put your business up there and give you guys a plug.
Yep. So we are both directors of King Bodies. It's a company Emily started and I joined, King Bodies Online Coaching. And then we're very fortunate again, which have built a lot of success from our business off the back of our major sponsor, which is Muscle Nation, who's been a huge part of our success and has helped us a lot. That we're very grateful for.
Well, the only reason I invest into their clothes now is because I know they fit you.
Yeah.
So that was smart.
Because we make sure that they fit him.
Because now you got meatheads buying it.
Yeah,
we're getting there. Like, the boys have gone to a lot of. Obviously, the majority is always going to be females when it comes to clothing. They're happy to spend money and very, very loyal to their brands, whereas guys, they're putting a lot of effort to provide more quality in terms of gym wear to the guys. And I've been heavily involved, which I'm grateful for, making sure, given my input on what needs to be there for the men. Unfortunately, I have a very odd body shape, Sam, as you would know.
Do not have an odd body shape.
Well,
I wouldn't say it's odd. I say it's very envious.
At the shoots, he's
being
like,
a bodybuilder,
I don't want to be in the shoots because, I'm not the normal body shape.
So they try to get me in the shoots and stuff. I'm like, they don't always look so flattering on me because I haven't got the shape for
You're
it.
shy, aren't you?
Yeah, he's.
No, I get it there, and they're great. And then I put it on, and obviously tight around biceps, tight pecs, and I'm the size up, and it's baggy. So then I'm like, all right, boys, not everyone's built like us as well. So it's only a minority. So they're trying to provide to everyone else that's got a sort of slender or a normal body shape that isn't big in different areas and tapering in around the waist. So they've been very accommodating for myself, so I'm very lucky in that regard. But that's why when I do them shoots, I've tried to move away from the shoots because I'm like, look, they honestly look so much better on a model than myself.
You're good looking, dude. You could look like me. Trust me, you're good looking. All right. But yeah, look, I appreciate you guys coming in, and I got you guys in for the reason that, even though you are successful competitors and you used your business on the back end of that, you guys are normal people, somewhat entrepreneurs, even though we don't like saying it.
It just sounds funny.
And to me, someone in the same game, I'm inspired by you guys in that way as well. I've come to you guys for advice in the past, for my own business stuff as well, so I hold you guys very high, and you guys are doing a great job as a family and everything from what I see on the outside. So congrats for everything.
Appreciate it. Always means a lot coming from someone like yourself. So.
And thanks for coming on. So until next time, you guys know where to find all Maddie and Emily and Luna. Find their socials. And until next time, we're out.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.